Yeah, can you hear us, Dr. Sengottuvelu?
Good morning.
Yes.
Dr. Viveka.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning. So we have Dr. Mines and then in panel Dr. Mittal, and so can you introduce your case?
Yeah. So good morning to Madam. Yeah. You mentioned Dr. Ramkumar will introduce the case.
So good morning. I will introduce this patient. He is a 56-year-old male. He had an anteroseptal MI in December 2016. He had post-MI angina, underwent an angiogram in December, which showed an LAD diagonal bifurcation disease, LAD long segment proximal. So these are the angiogram pictures. Over to Dr. Sengottuvelu.
So can you show today's angiogram? So can you show the drainage? So he has a normal left main LAD lesion, single vessel disease. It's a bifurcation lesion, which we call it as 111. There is some proximal LAD is mildly calcified, and the significant lesion is below the diagonal. The diagonal appears to be around 2 millimeter, 2.2 millimeter vessel.
So what was the
And has a mild lesion in the ostium.
and what is the ejection fraction like?
It's 50%. Ejection fraction is 50%.
Right. So can you discuss your
So
strategy?
we plan to do we plan to do a provisional stenting provisional here.
Mhm.
So what we want to do is to wire both the LAD and diagonal. And we'll also do an imaging, an OCT, which we have just done.
Yeah.
And then plan a stent from LAD across the diagonal, and then decide if required we can treat the diagonal.
Right. So can you
So
show the
we have just done
images?
the OCT. Can you show the OCT? Yeah. So the OCT is just from distal. Now you can see coming to the lesion now, very tight lesion distally. There is some amount of organized thrombus which is layered onto the vessel wall. And coming here to the bifurcation, you can see the diagonal. Now there's a lot of calcium proximally, huge amount of almost circumferential calcium. Then as we move the proximal LAD, it appears more of a healthy vessel. Keep moving more proximally, and and as we come to the ostium, there is some minimal disease there, and this is the left main. Left main is short and appears normal. So we will look at the distal landing zone, as we will start from, we have marked the distal landing zone and the proximal landing zone.
So tell us,
Proximally, the vessel appears almost 4 millimeters.
what did the OCT
Yes.
teach you that
And distally,
you didn't know from the angiogram in this case?
yes. So there are a few things which we learned from the OCT. One, we have identified that there is some amount of calcium at the level of bifurcation. We definitely have to consider aggressive predilatation, particularly at that point. And distally, there is some amount of organized thrombus. So we need to concentrate on the lesion which is just above the diagonal, which appears calcified. That is one. The second is the diagonal ostium does not appear to have much disease.
So that's a provisional.
The ostium, the length of the ostium is 2.3 millimeters.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the
That's the
OCT,
second message from OCT. Third message is the diameter proximally is 4 millimeter and the distally nearly 4 millimeter, and the distally the diameter is 2.57. So again, which is again quite a significant difference between the distal and the proximal landing zone, which was not looking very obvious in the angiogram. So we need to consider the stent. We consider stent. We need to think of all this, which can have to be tapered from 4 millimeters to 2.5.
yeah, Yeah, these are all great points, and I agree with you that the OCT was revealing. Now let me ask you, would you in your daily practice, would you have done this OCT as well, or is it just for us, to enhance the teaching that you did the OCT in this particular case?
Generally, in my routine practice, I use imaging in 40%. I have a little high tendency to use imaging. In this case, probably I wouldn't have. If it is a left-brain bifurcation, I would definitely use one sort of imaging. This is more to illustrate the use of imaging in a bifurcation and optimal stenting with image guidance.
Excellent, excellent, very revealing. Just one more question, if you allow, before you proceed. Would you consider two separate stents, giving this large mismatch between the proximal size around 4 and the distal around 2.5?
Yeah, the side branch is appearing to be 2.2 or 2.3 millimeters. So, and the ostium is not much diseased.
Sorry,
The other point is the proximal to the diagonal.
Yeah, no, my question was not two stents for the bifurcation. I think we all agree here for provisional stenting, particularly now that we've seen that the ostium of the diagonal is safe. But I was mentioning two stents in the LAD, two separate ones to avoid the mismatch.
One for the distal one and the one for the...
That's an excellent question. Yeah, so considering that there's a big mismatch in the size, there are two options. One, we can consider two separate stents. In that case, I will need to overlap it somewhere close to the bifurcation, which I want to avoid. So I am just thinking of a stent which has better expansion capabilities. So if you can consider something like synergy, which can go up by 1.5 or even more than that. Any suggestions from you? Which type of stent should we use? One or two stents?
Or can we use a stent which will be somewhere at the borderlines between somewhere around where the vessel size is 3, LED is tapering? We can keep a stent, start from there and put it distally where it is 2.5. So we can choose a stent of 2.5 and inflate it up to 3 and 3.5. So don't go to the LED where it is 4. We can keep it slightly distal.
One can consider bottled.
Yeah, we can do that, but what type of stent you are suggesting?
And if we go by this principle, then any of the routine stents, those can expand up to 3.5 maybe. Energy maybe.
The only issue in that case is sometimes if we implant the stent and then do a OCT again, we might find some malposition proximally. Then we need to expand it further, and we have the risk of over-expansion and causing injury to the polymer.
What I am what I intend to say is don't go to the region where it is 4. Why don't you land slightly distally?
Yeah, the difficulty with that one is the calcification. I mean, the tightest lesion and the most difficult to expand is exactly in that area, so I guess he wants to be safe on the proximal side and have a healthy landing zone.
There is a plaque also, so if he lands in a plaque, probably
Yeah.
the restenosis would be higher.
A few companies make a bottled stent, tapered. That can be a useful strategy in such a situation, but it's not available easily.
Yeah, one can consider that, but I also have to keep in mind that this is a bifurcation lesion, and I need to open the struts so to keep the side branch patent.
Yeah.
So I also have to consider open cell design to make sure the side branch is patent. Can you give me a balloon?
I think you should proceed, and you've clearly explained why you're justifying the decisions based on the imaging. So the size you selected now for the stent and length is what?
So I'm just going to pre-dilate. I'm just taking a balloon which is 3 millimeter, which I will use it for both distal and proximal.
Excellent.
Above the diagonal.
I really think you made a beautiful illustration of how revealing the OCT can be. I think we're much more informed about the pathology after the OCT than we were before.
4.
0, 1, 2, 3, 4,
5, 6,
5,
8.
7.
Negative.
Can we have the
So
fluoro
I'm
in the
under
big
dilating
screen?
distally because the vessel is not very big, so can
Thank
you
you.
test. Can you have the fluoro on the big screen? Yeah. Give me a test. Okay. Go up. Yeah.
1,
6, 8, 10, 12.
5, 6, 8, 10.
Negative.
Negative.
So you can see the balloon slipping, so it's definitely that calcified lesion is not allowing the balloon to expand. So can you go up? Yeah.
3, 4, 5, 6,
8, 10, 12,
8, 10,
12, 14.
12, 14.
Negative, split slipping. Okay. Now you can go up more. 16, 18, 20,
20,
22.
22.
Negative.
Negative.
So we used a 3 millimeter balloon at that point and we went 22 atmospheres. Do a check angiogram.
Yeah. Ready?
Sorry. We underdilated distally with just 8 atmospheres, and we've done 22 atmospheres proximally. So are you happy with this? Probably would you consider doing a cutting balloon, a short cutting balloon?
Panel, what do you think? Should he use?
I think it
What
should be a
is the
good
suggestion
idea
of the
because
panel?
it's not yet well made. This lesion is not well prepared now, so can
Can
still
you give me
go
a cutting
further.
balloon? So we will use a 310 cutting balloon.
Yeah, it should help in preparing the bed much
You
better.
have? Yeah, can you give me a 310 cutting balloon?
It seems almost as if, you
So
know,
this is one of the,
go ahead.
what you learned from the OCT. Otherwise, I would not have used a cutting balloon at all in this case. But just because we use OCT, we are just thinking of using a cutting balloon. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems as if the awareness that lesion preparation is important for implantation of scaffolds is raising our attention again to lesion preparation even when we're using metallic stents. Perhaps even in the past, some of us would have
Absolutely.
been tempted to go for direct stenting here. The lesions were not that tight. But certainly after the OCT imaging and the identification of the resistant plaque proximally, there is more attention than in the past, perhaps, to adequate lesion preparation.
As we are preparing to cutting balloon, I want a panel suggestion on the type of stent. Are you still agree with the any regular stent, or you want a stent which can go up more?
You clearly stated this was your option.
Thank you.
So from the panel, colleagues, any suggestion for a specific stent that would allow post-dilatation to increase its size way above nominal?
Yeah, that will be better. In the stent which can go to this thing, higher size will definitely be better here.
What type of stent would you consider?
Which all stents you have there on
Synergy?
shelf.
Energy?
Yeah, that should be good choice.
Okay. Test.
Yeah, so I think the other options are also
Best.
equally good because the integrity also
Go.
can go high, and even the science group of stents, they can also take
6,
5,
6, 8,
6, 8,
10,
10,
12,
12.
okay, 14, negative. So I got 14 atmospheres with this cutting balloon, and I made sure the cutting balloon is not below the diagonal because the vessel is small and the calcific lesion is only proximal to the diagonal. Okay, let's get the stent now. Give me a.
So
you
on
have,
OCT, what
Synergy
was the
32?
length of the
I'll
lesion?
take that.
Doc, could we measure the length of the
length was
lesion?
27.5. Yes, we could measure. The length was 27.2. To be on the safer side, I will use a 32 millimeter Synergy because we did use a cutting balloon and I wanted to keep the stent length a little longer. So 32.
3032?
2.5. So we are taking a 2.5 32. Yeah, 2.5 32 Synergy.
The panel agrees, or should we take 3?
We have quarter size, 275 something, be better even. 2.5 and
Yeah.
proximal LED may be
Which
very,
size?
very less.
No, that is the reason I am taking a Synergy stent. I am going to blow it up to nearly 4. With 3.5, I will do a pot, and then we will look at OCT.
Your guide was 6? His guide is 6?
Yeah, the guide is 7 French. See, it's 7 French.
Then distally it is around
So if we
2.75.
take, you see, we have the OCT now. The OCT diameter shows 2.57. So if we take a larger stent, then we can cause a distal edge dissection. So since we have the OCT dimensions, then we will go by that. Sure. Sure, done. Okay, test. Yeah. Okay. Can you come caudal, please, quickly? Come, all test.
Yeah.
Test again. Okay, go up.
So now you're checking the proximal landing zone.
9,
12.
10, 11, 12.
Yes, because it's close to the ostium, 12.
12.
Cranial.
Training.
12. Deflate. Ready for picture? Wait 1 second. Okay, looks good. Picture.
Yeah.
Oh, going to take a few minutes. So now we will look at the OCT and then we'll do a pot and we will also decide whether we should do anything to the side branch. Picture. So it looks good distally, so we would post-dilate the proximal portion. Yeah.
Would you consider
So Dr.
dilating
Ajit
the...
is ready with this case, so can move to. Yeah?
The distal to the diagonal also, it doesn't look to be fully open.
Yes, I would do that. I would do that with a smaller balloon. We can do that with a smaller balloon, with a 2.5 balloon. We will do that. But let's do the pot. Give me the 3.5 balloon. Yeah.
So would you crisscross
Yes.
the wire before doing the
3.5
pot?
then. No, I would do the pot. This pot will help to rewire if required. Also, it would help make sure that when we wire the LED again, I'll make sure that the wire doesn't enter between the stent struts and the vessel. So one of the main purpose of pot is to avoid the malapposition proximally. Can I have the? Can you go to the other lab and come because Ajit is ready? Okay. Go
Yeah,
both.
Dr. Sengottuvelu, you are live now,
Yeah.
and you can explain what all you have done.
Negative both.
Both negative.
Yeah. Okay, go back. Can you go back to the previous picture, the last?
So you've decided to do a kissing balloon?
Yes. So, can you show I did a pot first. Can you show the pot? So we did a pot with a 3.5 balloon at 20 atmospheres. There's a stenting after that. Next slide. Next, please. Can you show next? So we did a pot only to the proximal part of the stent. This is before the pot. Next. And this is the pot. Next, keep going. Keep moving far. So we made sure we kept at the carina and also made sure we are just within the stent, and we went up to 20 atmospheres and then go back. So we decided that we decided there was some small pinching in the diagonal, so we were thinking just to do keep the struts open and maybe consider whether to put a stent or not is a question, but most likely I would not like to put a stent. Just want to do a kissing and then take the final picture and make the decision.
Did you do an OCT now to see the ostium of the diagonal?
Yeah, we did the
Before the
kissing balloon.
kissing.
Go up both 12.
So as you mentioned,
No, we didn't do
you
it.
would prefer to avoid
didn't do
having
OCT.
to stent the diagonal. Therefore, the size of the balloon
Negative
or the
motion.
diagonal kissing procedure is important. You don't want to oversize it to avoid dissection that would force you to stent
Absolutely,
it. So you've used a
absolutely.
2-0 in the diagonal? And
Absolutely, I did use a 2-0 just to avoid any pinching.
Uh-huh.
OCT.
Excellent.
So
Did you consider at some point in time to do also a middle stent optimization right after the bifurcation? There
I
still
did
is some.
that. Can you show that?
Oh,
I
okay,
used the
okay.
same balloon.
A 3.5 or a 4? 3.5. Yeah.
Because it's a 3.5, I just went only 8 atmospheres distally. Maybe after the OCT, I would consider doing a high pressure dilatation with a smaller balloon, the NC balloon. So do OCT.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get the OCT.
The labs which don't have OCT, we use stent boost quite often to look at the expansion.
Excellent point. Thank you. Absolutely.
Okay, give OCT.
Ready?
The lady.
To the moderators, my question
I
is
want to
how.
ask another question to the panel. Well, we have already done a kissing balloon. Do you want to do a final part after the OCT, or would you leave it proximally?
So the question is systematic final pot after any kissing balloon procedure? Do you do this routinely or
Keep
not
straight.
necessarily?
Yeah, so I think the final part
I-
should be
I-
done in all cases.
I guess that's being the recommendation now universally, that if you want to avoid disrupting the architecture of the main branch stent, a final pot after any kissing balloon is recommended. Is that correct?
Wait, course. So we will complete it with the final part after the OCT.
So the moderators, do you think that, Dr. Vijayan, for example, would you have gone for kissing, or you would just leave
Okay,
the
kissing.
diagonal like this?
Keep it down.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. There was pinching as usual, but flow seemed to be okay, and
Yeah, ready?
I guess the only advantage is to open the struts
can you hear
to grant ourselves easy access to diagonal for the future. But it will force you into kissing plus the main branch pot at the end. So I think it's debatable.
You want
Perhaps
one
you
more?
could have left it as is and maybe decide on the basis of the
Take one more?
OCT, looking at the ostium.
But there is a downside also for this, that you deform the stent, and potentially you can create a dissection at the diagonal.
Ready?
Yeah.
Check nicely. So we have done the OCT. Can you show the OCT now?
We could see the OCT rather than, yeah, thank you.
Give me the final 3.5 millimeter balloon again. Do the pot.
Sister, keep 3.5.
Give me the 3.5, 10. You have given me. So can you, yeah, there is some malapportion now. You can go through the OCT again. Yeah. Yeah, just keep playing. See, there's amount of significant malapportion. Yeah. Can you show with relation to the branch? Yeah. There is amount of some plaque prolapse as well. but the proximally, the edges are, there's no dissection. So, okay, can you run it again? Yeah, from plate. So what is the opinion of the panel on the OCT? We will do a final post-dilatation again.
Yeah, so there is a significant malapposition, so I think it needs more work for post-dilatation.
Can you do a check angiogram?
Yeah, I guess distally,
Right,
distal edge is
just to
okay.
show how it appears angiographically.
Yeah, there is some underexpansion in the mid-distal part with non-circular appearance. I haven't seen well the, oh, there is a diagonal. Malapposition is not that severe, but
you show the
it extends
fluoroscope?
over a relatively long section. And it's more in the mid part of the stent than it is proximally, actually.
Yes.
We haven't
Exactly.
seen the diagonal
So,
that
can
well.
you show the angiographic image? Yeah, I think you should show it in the longitudinal view. Just move it a little bit to show that side branch 7 in the OCT. Yeah, because there's some amount of malapposition in there.
I guess the main lesson from this
So
last
start there,
OCT
go.
here is that the stent needs some more work in terms of, and that's what you're actually
Let's go.
doing, right?
8, 10,
8,
12,
10.
negative.
What size balloon are you using now?
I'm using a 3.5 scope.
3, 4,
So I went 12 atmospheres distally, 16,
10,
and going more proximally, 18,
18.
negative. So, can you do a stent boost now, please? Ready? Yeah. It's too much outside the stent. Yeah, go up. Yeah, 20, 20,
8, 10,
22,
20, 22,
24,
24,
26, negative. So we've gone 26 atmospheres proximally and 12, 14, 16 atmospheres distally. Take a picture now. So this is after the post-dilatation. Can you show the ostium of the diagonal? So in the OCT, we could see the ostium of the diagonal quite patent. There is no significant plaque shift. So we are happy at the final result, if you agree.
Yeah, so I think that's a good result.
Yeah. So the message in this case is imaging really helps to understand the plaque characteristics and plan appropriate strategy. And it's important to choose the size of the stent according to the vessel dimensions. And when you have a tapering vessel like this, you have to have a stent which has better expansion capabilities. And we did do a kissing balloon, which is again optional in a single stent strategy, whereas a 2-stent strategy is mandatory to do a kissing balloon. And so we did a kissing balloon, and there is no significant plaque shift by OCT. And finally, clearly OCT showed areas of malapposition, and we did do a final part, and we got a finally acceptable result.
Well, so Dr. Sengottuvelu, that was very well done and very excellent. So we will leave you there and we'll go to the other lab. I would request all the audience and everyone to give a big hand to Dr. Sengottuvelu for excellent case. So that was very nicely done. We will shift to the next
you.
lab for findings of FFR. If we can go to the next lab,
you.
please.